Good morning to one and all present here. A morning is a wonderful blessing, either cloudy or sunny. It stands for hope, thoughts, and giving us another start. We call life. Good morning, one and all. I am Asira Sayed of FYBCA. Extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Principal, Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, our Chief Guest, Budh Ram Gurung, Sir, our HOD, Dr. Shabada Mullah, teachers, and my dear friends. Today we are gathered here for IT career awareness session. The intention of this program is to create awareness about career option in IT industry. I could now like to start the program with Tilawati Quran by Mr. Aftab Ahmed Ansari.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجاءوا على قميصه بدم كذب قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون وجاءت سيارة فأرسلوا واردهم فأدلى دلوه قال يا بشرى هذا غلام وأسروه بضاعة والله عليم بما يعملون وشروه بثمن بخس دراهم معدودة وكانوا فيه من الزاهدين صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. Knowledge is learning something every day. Wisdom is letting go of something every day. I could now request Dr. Shamana Mullah ma'am for welcome speech.
Thank you, Masira. Honorable Principal Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, today's guest speaker Mr. Budh Ram Gurung, dear colleagues from Department of BBA and B.Voc Software Development, and my dear students, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. I, Dr. Shabana Mullah, take this privilege to welcome you all for today's IT career awareness session. Dear student, career awareness describes your career attitude, your knowledge, your life's experiences. Career awareness is using all of these considerations when making active decisions about your career. Your level of career awareness will directly influences how important and impactful the power moves you make will be. It helps students to understand their strengths and weaknesses and then match them with their skills and interests so that they get the best suitable career choice, as well as it helps in narrowing down the options so that the finding the right career becomes easy. In today's era, the main problem of youth is that even if they complete their study, they don't know about what to do next. Looking at today's boom of technology, it is necessary to organize awareness program for career guidance and its necessity to select a proper career that interests you, for which today's awareness program is organized. So, on behalf of Y&M Anjuman Khairul Islam's Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, I welcome you all in today's IT career awareness session. Thank you. Over to you, Masira.
Thank you, ma'am. I could now request our Honorable Principal, Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, sir, to address us.
Thank you very much. Thanks to head of the department, Dr. Shabana Mullah, Dr. Imran, and all those who have taken initiative to organize this awareness program here today. It is very important, as Madam has mentioned here, that student must be aware what they are doing, and as a youth they have their own mindset. That mindset and is to be changed now, because today's youth, he thinks that he knows everything, but it becomes difficult at that time when he has chosen something and he thinks that he is right, but many times he is wrong at that time. The decision what he is taking today is very important, that he should know what to do and what not to do. Today, our guest speaker, Mr. Budh Ram Gurung, he is a teacher, mentor, educator, social coder, open source contributor and researcher. Our students should listen to him properly, because see, in every organization, when they hire people, it is their intention that people should be a good listener. When we go for a personal development program or for soft skills, it is the first criteria that we should listen. After listening, we should give our own opinion, but listening is very important. Many times the youth is not listening. Today, Budh Ram Gurung sir is there. He will tell us what are the important opportunities, what are the options we can see in the future. Things are changing, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, database management, lot of things are there. But what is important, what is perfect, that Gurung sir will tell us. Thanks to the department, thanks to Shabana madam, thanks to Mirza sir, thanks to Farooq sir, thanks to everyone, and thanks to the students who are here with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your beloved words. Now I request Dr. Imran Beg Mirza to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Mazira. Honorable Principal Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, respected Vice Principal Science Faculty Iqbal Sheikh in absentia. Today's guest speaker Budh Ram Gurung, Dr. Shabana Mullah, Head Department of BBA CA, faculty members from BBA CA, B.Voc Software Development, and my dear student, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our guest speaker of the day. He is none other than Budh Ram Gurung. He considers himself as an IT teacher, mentor, open source contributor, full stack engineer and researcher. He is an alumnus of Pune College and completed BCS 13 years ago. Following his passion, he started teaching activities from 2019 after leaving his last company Red Hat. His expert area of teaching is programming languages and web development. Previously to this, he had worked in IT industry for more than 8 years in different domains ranging from full stack web development, QA automation and DevOps. Believing in that fact, IT education should be freely accessible to all. He has started with initiative like FOSE India, FOSE, FOSE Nepal, where FOSE represent free and open source education. Currently, he is working on his own knowledge sharing website, BRG Classes, whose motive is to help students as professional engineer. You can find more about him on his personal website, https://freelancebrg.com. Thank you. Over to Masira.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The more you learn, the more you earn, and more self-confidence you will have. Now, I would like to give the honor to our chief guest, Honorable Budh Ram Gurung.
आता जरा हे चालू होते लेक्चर तुझ्याने माझा फोन सायलेंट वर होता.
Hello, Masira. Am I audible?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
you're
you
audible,
are.
sir. You're audible.
Just a second. Let me share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I will start now. Honorable Principal Sir After Anwar Sheikh, other organizers, and my fellow students. Assalamu alaikum, good morning, and namaste to everyone. So I would like to give my deepest uh, thanks to all the people who have made this session possible. And it's I'm to come back and share some of my experiences with you all, and also connect with my teachers and college and other staff as well. So I will basically give a lot of icebreakers or myth breakers which you have, or society, or the environment will create in your mind. So so there are many myths I found when I left Pune College around 13 years ago. So after that I went to Ferguson College, and the journey was I left Pune College around 2008, and that time recession happened, and I actually waited 1 year and gave the entrance test for Ferguson College, passed the entrance test out of thousands of applicants, and selected in like around 65 students in MCA. Sorry. And then after that, the things got a bit smooth because Ferguson College name, then placement, and other things. But it was not as smooth as one can find or imagine. Because when you think that the things are getting ease, the new challenges, okay, so comes in. So if you think that okay, this time, okay, it will just happen, and and I will see later on. No, the things will come again and again. So you need to have a solid mindset all the time, and you need to be prepared for everything in your life, especially career. Career means life. That's like becomes synonym nowadays. Okay, so it's basically same. And so in this session, as principal sir said, there are you need to be a good listener. And for an IT or for a teacher especially, I feel that uh, before even judging your teacher, you should ask yourself, are you a good student? Okay, because when I was in 3 years of my college in Pune College, I've seen many things. Like I think my batch was first batch for BCS Computer Science way back in 2005, and then I visited Pune College again last couple of years ago. I gave a session in I think first year BCS that time, and I with Kuddus sir. But again, there are other feedbacks. Kuddus sir gave me that the people, the student have changed, something like that. There are a lot of things. Uh, with that, I can analyze that. As principal sir said, nowadays students are getting impatient. Uh, I'm focusing on this word impatient, because and it's not your fault actually. Why it is not your fault? 15 years ago, there was no such hustle bustle in technology. Okay, we are quite we were the technology was quite it's kind of getting start, but now things are so like you never know what to do. Like you're always in confusion. Okay, every nowadays there is new technology coming in, and you are learning one language by yourself. Like there are already 2-3 languages you are learning in college, and you are learning you feel that you need to learn another language because you are seeing outside or in social media, or that this learning, or your friend is saying that okay, this language is getting attraction, like Python, say Python, or in maybe in the couple of years Rust, okay, or the another good language coming is Golang, okay. So like how to cope up with this distraction is very is the skill you need to learn. And the thing is, these skill I learned during my career, not during in my colleges. Okay, so if you start learning right now, before you complete your graduation, post graduation, you are in a position to hold in the control of your own career. When I said control in your own career, I will explain later on in the slides. What does it mean? Okay, so few important things, because I feel that before even going to burger food stuff, basically burger or any fancy item, you should know how to eat properly, right? If you don't know how to eat properly, how can you eat that other stuff which are coming from outside? Okay, burger, pizza, you know how to eat biryani properly, okay, but there is a way to eat burger or pizza, maybe because they have set it, okay, like this. In the computer programming or in the computer languages, okay, or in the computer frameworks, whatever technology, you need to learn programming first before learning particular language. Okay, now when I said learn programming language, I mean to say by concepts. Okay, so I want to focus these few things over the session, similar few things over the session that would help clear your myths. And again, I will be there for further later on to help more myths. Okay, if I could not able to cover in this short session, because 1 hour is always less, to even clear a part of the myth. Anyway, I will start now. So my table of content for this session is this much, and as I shared one form with you all, and there are like 60s still, people are filling it, but I will show your opinions based on your answers, or what my opinions based on your answers. Then I will come to true purpose of IT student, because as I said, being a good IT student is more important. Okay, so because that's what I felt being a teacher. Then I devised my own 4 stages of IT student, or a student life. Okay, and then there are self-taught, and what are the variants of self-taught. I will discuss what is software development in a nutshell, and then technology stacks, and career paths, and open source and community. There are other things this session is definitely missing is should we go to cloud computing, should we go to AI, mobile technology. These are secondary. Let me put you, these things are secondary. In my opinion, you should not even consider thinking or of that in third year, before third year. Okay, that's will in the 4 stages of IT student, because you need to be focused on the couple of years. You need to learn languages. There are other stuff, instead of being worrying about okay, I want to go to AI, ML, cloud computing, other stuff. Okay, so let's begin. The one myth that is there in IT industry, or right now you have in your mind, is English is mandatory. Like you might be thinking that English is mandatory in IT, okay, but that is not the case actually. Okay, even when I started my own company, I never felt that English is mandatory, because I want firstly I want the person who can deliver the task. Okay, just think of this in your mind, that companies want a person who can deliver the task. And I don't know which language he use, which framework he use. I don't care. As a CEO of a company, I'm just interested on a person, whoever it be, religion, caste, whatever. I'm interested on a person who can deliver this task for me. That's it. There is no other case. Okay. Then there are a few companies. Okay, I want a candidate having a good English communication, because he has a client whom with him the candidate need to be communicate. So the things get later on. So focus on delivering the task. Okay. So as I said, I like to be called as BRG. I will share one story why I like to be called as BRG, because my full name has 13 characters. So it's better to call it as, when you can basically point, or in a C language term, you can use a pointer of 3 characters to basically identify someone. Why not use that? Okay. The another story is way back 13 years, 15 years ago, Kuddus sir used to call me Budh Rama. Okay, I have a very nice memories with my staff. So Budh Rama is the new basically name. And then there are other incidents, like someone called me Budh Raj Tamang. He completely basically renamed me. And there are other few occasions, Buddhi Raj, or someone even called me Buddhu. Okay, so that was during my school days. So I never mind basically. But now I'm focusing on BRG shorts. Okay, I hope you don't mind it. As I said, IT teacher, mentor, educator, counselor, each word has different meaning actually. Right now you may be thinking, okay, these all are same. Each has different meaning. Okay, these are actually all done. The last thing I added is social coder, because once you do a lot of open source contributions, which is actually free and volunteer based, you feel that you are doing something for the society. And then actually I'm doing a lot of things for society, changing the society and others. So quickly go through my career graph, so that this might give you how your future could be. Okay, this is one of the traditional path. Okay, you basically start with intern, then become a junior software engineer. Okay, and then associate software engineer. Okay, it was in startup in Pune. I stayed around 4.5 years, and I became full stack engineer there itself, or senior software engineer. It's basically the same. Okay, there's one label under the hood. You basically do a lot of things, and which actually means full stack development. One thing I want to ask students, are you able to interpret me properly? Like, are you getting what I'm saying? Masira, are you able to get me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, so else I can start in Hindi as well. So what do you prefer?
English.
Okay, great. So the next step was Red Hat Bangalore, and like you might be thinking Red Hat is a very big company. They might have a very rigorous, very hard, tough interview process. That was the same when I was getting interviewed, but it was very simple actually, or they made it very simple. They didn't ask me that hard question for a senior software engineer. Okay, so actually I found afterward that the big companies never look on how much skill you have, how much technical skill you have, because they can teach you. They basically focus on the inherent qualities, like how is your attitude. Okay, are you positive enough? Okay, is your emotional quotient is good enough? How could you take the, like, how, in what way you take the criticism? Okay, so those are a few things that I found and very surprising. And then um, 2017, I become senior software engineer, and becoming senior software is in Red Hat is itself an achievement actually. And because you are then basically writing a software for billions of people. Uh, in a shocking incident or way, I basically exited from Red Hat and joined my friend company, I've Media Rex in Pune, digital marketing and website development as a director and CTO. But I played a trick. What I trick is I played safe. I want to explore entrepreneurship, but I don't want to go with the legal and all those registration things, hustle bustle. So I joined whatever I got, and then 2021 freelancer, teacher, or whatever you can think of. So this is my career graph short. Let's see your opinions, and then I will give you a few of the things. When I asked you what you want to become, software engineer is what 30 people out of 55 people said. Then few others like full stack engineer, front end developer, graphic designer, IT manager. Now, why I'm doing this? Because you can imagine, I can basically think, or I can basically have an opinion that 30 engineer, 30 student out of 55 still have a vague, average answer. They are not clear about what specific thing they want to be. Okay. And then there is one person who says, I want to be full stack engineer. He's clear about what he wants to be in his career. There is one guy, he says one front-end developer. One guy says graphic designer. So he will focus on these 3 years on that graphic designer only, no matter what the course will be. Okay. IT manager is one side, hacker. And in the hacker itself, there is one person says ethical hacker. The other might be in the, their unethical hacker, basically. They might destroy, or they might basically destroy some bank password and all. It could be. But one person is sure that he want to be a ethical hacker. It's all about clarity. Just remember this. Cyber expert, it's different than the ethical hacker. Okay, both are different role, and they have different mindset, basically. One of the lucky, or one of the person who says I want to be lecturer, lucky for the college. Okay, because in today's time it's hard to find student becoming a lecturer. There are other things, public relation, income tax officer, those are the answer. You can imagine, like, these are like BBA and B.Voc, and one is IT officer. Okay, one is businessman. That is also there, because those two persons think that, okay, IT is the big thing. They already know IT is the big thing. I want to basically handle people, so they become businessman. Okay. There are two people who says I want to become millionaire, and one says I want to become billionaire. So these are very interesting answers you gave me. And one say I want to do job in IT company. Now, what kind of job? So two people said one kind of job. So you can see the clarity level. Okay. And then engineering. One, what is engineering? Like, okay. So if you give me this answer in interview, I will directly reject you. I won't waste my time to even proceed further. You are not clear about on your own visions or your goals for your own life. How you could be clear for my own company? Okay. So these are the few things that you need to be clear. So that's why you have 3 years time, and then more 2 and 3 years time for masters to get all these things clarified. One more question I asked, there are others, but I will also stress this. What do you mean by software engineer? Let's see what student gave. Okay. A software engineer person who applies, this is a bookish definition. I don't know whether he just copy pasted or he just mugged it up so well that he able to write it properly. In both the cases, it's a kind of a bookish definition, which is good for marks. But okay, that's a positive thing that you are getting marks. But are you able to implementing it is what is the question you need to ask yourself. Okay. Someone said, okay, it's a doctor of computer who deals with any problem or issues. That's a good answer actually. That a computer engineer is a doctor. Okay, he deals whatever questions. Okay, the software has or building it, and that's what his perspective. And he will basically deal the software building like this only. Others is detailed study of software. That is also a definition. Good part of it is fine. And creating apps. That's his ultimate goal. Okay, software engineers who creates app. All the definition as fine. Software engineer is basically a developer. That is also fine. Everything is right. Everything is positive. Okay, no, nothing is wrong actually here. So let me, in my opinion, what IT student true purpose is. Again, this is not the principle that you need to follow it. It's just what I feel as a teacher, that this is the guidelines. This is a kind of a a framework you should take. Okay, and you should basically redirect all your activities, all your educational thinking around it. The true purpose of an IT student is to serve humanity with writing good softwares. That's what the software engineer is, right? Now, how you serve it, in what way you serve it, by building a startup, okay, or by building a software or in a company, or by building a businessman, by building a banking, okay, by building by being an IT cyber expert, hacker, okay, you are basically serving humanity at the rock bottom. Okay, and the good thing is you need to be more on the good side. Now let's see the key points to reach to this true purpose. How you can reach is the focus. Okay, what kind of focus you need? I would say inner eyes, because with the eyes open, I have actually, it took me like 10 years, 10 to 15 years with open eyes to just to reach my true purpose. Okay, I want to basically share my things or knowledge with you so that you can reach your true purpose in a short span. Okay, now that's the inner eye is basically an eye with awareness capability. Now, what should be my focus? This is your question. Okay. Now, let me give you a graph, basically focus of an IT student. So right now, your focus is like majority of your focus will be IT degree. Now, why? Now, a lot of people have their peer pressure from home. Okay, get the job, get the degree. Then you get the home, you get the job, and then the other thing will follow up. So this is your focus right now. Then get a job is actually least focus. Before that, you actually focus should be on the front end, on some technology basically. Now I will come to front end, back end, and full stack later on. Basically, a stack is a collection of technologies or frameworks or languages. Okay, so first you get a degree, and then your focus is always on job. Then your least focus is to what should be your focus is front end on some working on some technology. But further, your focus should be before that is learning some languages and frameworks very well. Even further, your focus should be narrowed down to acquire the fundamental of programming, software development, its principle, communication, the software building doesn't only take the technical knowledge, it needs you need communication with the respective entities, okay, like your stakeholders, yeah, like your customers. Okay, you need to also know the communication skills. Okay, so this is what you need to narrow down. Now you can find yourself where you are right now. Okay, and then you can proceed. Now how you should proceed, that's what I feel. How you should proceed is you should basically have master in the fundamental. Then once you master some language or this thing, then work on the frameworks. Then once you have the mastery in frameworks, get onto the stack, front end, back end, okay, or full stack. Okay, and also full stack is not the as great as that front end, back end. All three are great in their own way. Okay, some companies only want front end, some companies only want back end, and there are some companies, mostly startup, who want full stack because they want to cut the cost. Okay, then once you have you have mastery in some stack, you will have high chance of getting the job. And once you have the job, your degree purpose is served, right? That's what people do. Degree, then you got job. Okay, so just remember this. What's your focus? First start with narrow one, then broad it. Okay, don't get the broad and then narrow. That's a wrong approach. Now as I said, I basically devised my own 4 stages for student life, and these these may be quite huge right now, but this is what this is it, because IT industry has is so fast. It has there was a gap in my college days 15 years ago, where where college where industry was just looking, okay, you are good at C, you are good at Java, you are good at some web basics, you are good at aptitude. Okay, but right now things has exploded. The expectations has exploded a lot. Okay, so these 4 stages, based on the 4 years of engineering, but you can basically adapt it yourself, is what IT industry is expecting from a average student. I'm talking about an average student. Now let's see what are those 4 stages. So this is like version 1.0. The first version, it can change, as I found later on. Infancy stage, that is, you need to get familiar with whatever is happening. You need to get aware of whatever is happening around you. Okay, child, initiate exploration. You need to then, once you familiar it, start exploring yourself, then expand your exploration. Okay, and then when you become adult, you should be action ready. Okay, now let's see all these stages in a brief. Okay, first stage is infancy. You are in your first, suppose you are in your first year of the college. What you will do, what you are supposed, you should make friends and learn. Collaboration is important here. Okay, there might be friends that, okay, in my, actually, like 15 years ago, there were we used to be in the groups only, 4 or 5 people, that's it. In this way, out of 60 people, 60 students, 65 people, we had 5 to 10 groups only. So that's okay, groupism is okay, but what you are missing is the collaboration, because that is what needed in the company. If you don't learn in these 3 years, 4 years, you will never, you will find hard to learn in the company, or maybe even you don't even crack the interview, because one of the requirement for a good candidate is team player skill. Now what is team player skill? You basically can able to work in a group. If you know that, okay, this person can do well, you pass on to the work. Okay, it's like a football game. You need to do goal. If I do it fine. If my friend do it, then it's also fine. Then understand how software works. Then communicate to seniors. We didn't do this properly, or most of the students didn't do it properly. In my case, but right now you need to communicate properly what they are facing, okay, and all those things. And get familiar with IT industry. I don't know how much you are familiar with. Get used to it. There are now a lot of forums are there, lot of groups are there. Even I have created a lot of groups, Facebook groups, these chat groups, okay. And then the last requirement is to get the marks that will help you to upgrade to the second year. Okay, there are other things, but these are the main thing that you should be aware in infancy stage or first year. The second is child state. Why it's said child state? Because here you should basically in a position to explore, make friends with other colleges. Now, until you make friends with your own colleges, how can you make friends with other colleges, right? You need to learn the communication skill. Tech events. There are a lot of tech events in the around the inter colleges, and it's also happen in the college itself, right? Take part in those events. Then there is something like familiar with languages. Now, familiarity with languages is what you have right now in your curriculum, but there are other languages like 30 in a 50 days of period, one language born, something like this. Okay, and how we will cope with it. Now, there is a trick to learn the programming language. I myself know 4 to 5 languages. Okay, and then and talk together. If you look at just one language, JavaScript, you will gonna sometimes you feel that you will gonna get mad after looking the JavaScript frameworks. Okay, lot of frameworks. Now there is another player comes in, that is TypeScript. Okay, now if you don't know all these things, then you should ask yourself that you need to be more on the up to date industry up to dates. Then get familiar with developer environment. Now what is mean? Whether Windows is suitable for you, whether Linux is suitable for you, which editor is suitable for you. Okay, gone are those days when okay professor say, okay, open the gedit in your library, in your lab, and just do this. No, right now the college definition is providing a good platform to you, okay, which include everything from resources, educational resources, everything from whatever the tech events. Okay, there are a few other colleges which are, so maybe you are lucky that these events are happening. There are a few other colleges where these are these events doesn't happen. Okay, then good knowledge of secondary is definitely there. Teen age. Now what you should do in teenage, or in the if you are in third year, then this is what you should do. Okay, I have seen there are 30 students who are from first year. Okay, and so for first year student I suggest, okay, this part, make friends, learn collaboration, and then see what is happening, communicate with your seniors, what are the challenges they face, try to get familiar with the IT industry. And now this is not that era that okay, you have to just follow the what is being written today, like 15 years old student, 15-year-old a person is becoming the CEO. You can skip anything right now. Third stage is teen. Explore intermediate level. Whatever you have in college is just like beginner. Okay, when I went to IT industry, I was doing Ruby language, and what I learned in all my 6 years graduation and post graduation, I learned C++, Java, PHP, and then MySQL and others, JavaScript. What I need to work on, Ruby language, completely new language. Okay, similarly whatever you do in Java in your curriculum is just like 5 to 10%. of what there in the IT industry. Okay, so never think that you are, already know a JavaScript or any language, because then you are stopping your learning curve. Okay, then frameworks, there are many frameworks there. Understand what the framework dynamics. Okay, represent yourself in the tech events. In the second stage, it is it is bonus that you are able to represent, but you should attend it. Once you have a habit of attending, you are in a position that you can represent in the tech events. It doesn't happen suddenly. Then get company profiles. Now this is the age you need to check company profiles. Which company is doing which domain, where, which company is good for me, what is my dream company. Okay, and then tech stack, because right now you are in a position to understand what is tech stack, because you know programming, you know frameworks. Okay, tech stack is just a collection of those two and few other things. Let's move adult. As I said, adult is basically full of energy. Okay, choose your passion, but there, as I said, there are a lot of stacks. Okay, front end, back end, and DevOps is just one stack. There are a lot of stack. Choose, find out your passion, work on it. Then in the fourth stage, build your resume, learn interview etiquettes, organize tech events if you could, get project experience if you could. Okay, these are few four things that I share like everywhere. Okay, and I'm sharing with you as well. Now let's talk about self-taught, because this is very, very important. And there are different level of self-taught. You give me answer like this. Someone said, I don't know. That is okay. Okay, that is okay. You are not clear enough to say that you know self-taught. Love yourself first. Very nice answer. Okay, until you love yourself, how can you learn, right? Learn by oneself. So self-taught, then a part of it is, okay, self-taught is the mechanism where you learn by your own self. More further, having knowledge or acquired by your own efforts. Okay, and then self-taught is the best to learn quickly and effectively. That's up to the person. Okay, how you can do that. Last is having acquired knowledge or skill on one's own initiative rather than through formal instruction or training. All answers are right at their own level. Okay, so how you interpret is up to you, up to your state of mind. Okay, nothing is negative actually. I found that there are a lot of levels students have. Like if there are 100 students in a class, okay, in a typical class, there are different level of self-taught. Let's see what are those. I name them as able to self-taught to top 3 to 10%. Who are those top 3 to 10%? Those are like toppers. Okay, those who have the good common sense and all those things. Good self-learner, about top 10 to 15, 25%, they are able to get some instruction and able to basically learn it, or peer learning. They can able to do peer learning as well. Average self-learner, they need some teacher interaction, and then okay, if the teacher says okay do this, they need few further step, 2 3 more steps, and they can able to learn it. Below average, they need further more effort. Okay, maybe like give the whole answer as well, and then they can write the another answer. Okay, this way they can learn. So that's a self-taught level. The last is spoon feeding. The teacher has to sit along with the student and then spoon feed. Okay, this is what you say. Okay, like programming or whatever. And the last is below 5%. Is always there, who sometimes have no idea what is happening, and they need to ask, am I in the wrong field? Are you that guy from Three Idiots who has the photography as the passion but came into engineering. Okay, so these are awareness of your own self. Okay, let's forget about the career, because you need to be aware your own self, what you want with yourself. Okay, now let's talk about software development. Then it's a very brief uh, kind of a pragmatic definition I'm giving, because there is definitely a good answers in definition in your books. Okay, and but over the period of time, when you build software, your definition will change, and I always suggest to build your own definition rather than in here and there, because that's the way of learning. One time you will fail to write the good definition, second time you will fail to write, but third time you will definitely write some answer which will satisfy you, which will satisfy others. So start writing your own definition. Let's build a software. Okay, how software basically build? Again, it's not a longer answer, it's just a very short answer. Or it's basically a house, or this is just an understanding only. Just avoid it building it. It's not a good analogy actually in a practical term. What you need some money basically, and definitely by having a 4 lakhs in your hand, okay, is not enough. Okay, you need to have some plot, okay, maybe like some area, okay, to basically do something, your building of house, right? And then after that you need to have some plans. Okay, until you have plans, you can go in any way, in any direction of building the house. Once you have a plan, you need man force. Okay, you need proper man force who can able to build the house. And last, you need the materials as well. Like all these things should be there to basically accomplish building a house. But even before all these things, there is invisible entity everywhere which you need to be aware is. You need to have idea, strong idea, you need to have desire, you need to have courage, and there are other things to even get to this point. Okay, managing human is the most difficult task in the world, and no doubt why managers have high salary than engineers. Okay, because this is the thing, this is always the case. Contractors, then for building a house case, you need contractors, supervisors, okay, who will check all the basically workers. Then there are a few special workers who are plumbers, who handle all your water stuff, electrician who handle electrical stuff. Okay, then majorly workers, and then some interior designers to make your house look and feel good. Okay, so there are many things are missing here as well, but these are few things. And similarly, in your software world, you have these kind of few things, few entities which play a major role: graphic designers, software developers, quality assurance engineers who will check your quality of the software, system admins, managers, stakeholders. Okay, businessman who said businessman, I want to become businessman, they are like stakeholders, managers. Okay, and there are like a system admin, cyber expert, they can be cyber expert. Nobody said quality assurance engineer, because testing, that's what impolite word. Okay, because there has been a myth that software tester are very low level job. Trust me, in the IT industry there is a ratio of 4:1. Means 4 engineers, you need to have one software quality assurance engineer, otherwise your software will gonna fail. Okay, so see the competition level. If you think that you can be a good quality assurance engineer, you are actually one out of 5 people who are competing. Okay, 4 are competing for software developers, so there is a huge basically competition there. And what I found through my 10 years of experience, most of people, most of the people basically uh, go from software engineer to quality assurance engineer as well. Okay, because there is less stress. Okay, it's not, I am not intimidating you, but that's what the case, because they have to also balance their life. Okay, but anyway, I want to just give you an idea that quality assurance engineer job is also a very good job. One good example I want to give in terms of salary is when I was in my first company, when I was having 4 year experience. Okay, and the same colleague who left the same company and joined some other company, good company, with a quality assurance engineer position, he had almost almost double the salary than mine. Okay, so there is a game, basically. If you want to increase your salary, you need to switch the companies. So that's there is a game, there is a phrase in IT company. Okay, and a few people basically fall in. People like to do it because they want to earn money only. Okay, but in my 10 years career, or in my 8 years career, I was there only for 2 companies. But I never suggest to switch this pattern, because that will actually harm you in the long term. And it's basically not the ideal, okay, not ideal situation or approach, I would say, for your career. Let's go to the tech stack or technology stack, front end, back end, and DevOps. And this is not the final stack. This is not the complete stack. This is, you can say, the primary stack, because from your graduation level, you are basically into it. Let's say stack. I hope you know familiar with the hotkeys, where you store your rotis, chapatis, fulkas, or whatever you can name them. So think of stack as this, your hotkeys, and there are rotis in it, which is basically technologies. And technology can be language or framework or any other stuff. Okay, so this is stack basically. Basically a kind of collection of technologies where which is required to build software, and this is my definition. Okay, and it is fine, or it is correct at its own sense, because I am able to build the software with this definition. You need to find your definition, as I said. Okay, uh, technology here for two. These are the things. Now let's go to front end stack. We have a front end hotkeys. Now let's see the common things which are there in the front end stack. You have HTML5, HTML, CSS3, JavaScript, frameworks, and others. In itself, there is a framework. We have CSS frameworks, okay, Bootstrap, others. Other frameworks are being developed day by day. JavaScript framework, you might be familiar with the jQuery, only name, React, Vue.js. There are other things, AngularJS. It's keep popping up. Like, as I said earlier, that when you go into the JavaScript world, sometimes you're gonna get mad. A lot of versions keep popping up. And the front end basically primary job is to give the look and feel, or what users say, user interface. And it also helped creating the UX. Now both are completely different domain. What is UI and UX? Okay. In a simple term, UX is what? If you are giving your user 3 pages to give your login, he will basically left the website in one click. He will not bother to even go to your login page. So your website has bad UX. User will not say, okay, your UI has problem. Your UI might be great, very fantastic, but you have a UX problem. He will not go to the 3rd page. He doesn't have time, actually. The attention span is quite low nowadays. Provide interface to the talk to server. There are other technologies through which the front end stack deal with the server. Now, what is backend? Now, this is the backend hot case, and few of the backend routines. I would like to call that as languages, frameworks, database, and others. Okay, and then what are those languages? This can be C, Python, Java. Okay, there are others. Frameworks can be Ruby on Rails. That is my area of expertise. Then Django is Python. Then Express.js, Node.js, and others. Databases, you might be heard about MySQL, Postgres. There are MongoDB, Oracle DB. There are others. There are companies own DB. So they have own things. Primary jobs is basically implementing server logic. Okay, what is server logic? What does it mean? You entered your password in say some website, say facebook.com. What Facebook does behind the scene? Now what it can do is it basically check the server database and a username, login, and password, and then give you the whether it is invalid or not. Meanwhile, it can also store your password for later purposes in some other logics. Parallelly, many logics can be applied. Okay, and provide APIs for integrating with other services. Right now, there is a backend, and suppose you want to handle some chat app. There is some third-party application providing by another company. What they will do is they will give some APIs to you. You need to server is the person who is basically going to integrate those APIs with your application and communicate with them. Okay, so these are the few things, high level things, and if you go deep, then you know that okay, I want to be in the Python world, or I want to be in the Ruby world, or I want to be in the Java world, JavaScript world. There are many worlds right now. Once you come out of the college life, nutshell, eggshell, you can say, then you will know. And then provide interface to front end. DevOps, there is another which is actually what cloud computing is all about. Or the DevOps is basically dealing with cloud, and majorly right now. Okay, one thing that my previous company Red Hat was doing is it has a lot of DevOps related. Okay, let's see those source control management, Git. If you know Git, GitHub. Okay, about the GitHub, are you aware that GitHub is providing free bundle to student with valid password, valid ID, where you can able to basically get a domain for free for 1 year, then use some of the apps. Are you aware of this? No, probably no. Some might be, but you need to be aware of these things if you really want to be in the that zone that company want you. And these things, the left things might be some alien words to you right now. Okay, for few, like they know it, but this is what DevOps track. Okay, and this is a high level terms: continuous integration, platform as a service. These are very high level terms, but this is what it is. And let me show you some things like source management, Git, GitHub, private sources. Let me quickly go through it. Okay, few things that you can check, and it's very advanced actually, because these comes in the master's level, or after in the company itself. I got the chance to work in DevOps after 4 years only. Okay, so it's quite advanced. So managing and deploying the server, so and provide tools to help application healthy and other things. Okay, so in a short, in a very brief or student level definition, you can take from these stack is front end is what UI, UX. Okay, whatever you do with your application, whatever you see in the application from eyes. The backend is whatever happening behind the scene which you don't see, and the DevOps is Okay, this is the definition you can take. The DevOps is when you build the software in your laptop, and you know, I want to this application to be accessed from my friend in USA or Britain or China or whatever world. How you do it? So this problem is solved by DevOps. But how it does it? These are the technologies. Okay, so there is always a problem statement everywhere. Now let's discuss the career path. The first way is traditional path, and other is the untraditional way. I will discuss these two. What is traditional path? Graduation. This is set by someone. Okay, graduation. You do graduation first. If you don't get job, do post graduation. That's what I did. Then you get interns. Okay, in you get software companies come in your college, and then you get the position as intern, and after some time you become software developer. This track or this path is good for those students who are studying in a college with good placement activities. What about others? They then get to freshers and then placement pools. Okay, they have to do all those things, walk-ins. Okay, lot of stuff. Now let's say untraditional path that one can create for himself, herself. These things are there. Okay, what you can do is make your own path. This is what everybody is doing right now. The students are doing were smart enough, I would say. This track or this path is hard enough. Okay, it's very hard enough. What is that path? Involve in open source, tech events, get familiar with IT industry. Okay, it's there in the first couple of stages, but here it's actually you are going there itself. You are visiting company properly by your own self. Nobody is saying, okay, you can say that, okay, sir, I want to do free intern, or I have this project and I was just looking for some company to sponsor this. I have this idea, great idea, something like that. Okay, you can prepare that and then check for the companies. Okay, there are groups where you can say this, and then prepare your own way. And basically, software companies will pick you up from there. How I got into Red Hat? This is not some placement agency or something like this. This is by open source tech events. That's around 2016. I attended one Docker meetup, some meetup in Red Hat, and then one of the employee recognized my passion of learning new technologies. And in the September, I got one call. I got rejected, whose reason I even don't know. After December, I got another call for another team, and I got selected in that. And that changed actually my whole track of the career. Okay. So, as I said, I'm not discussing more about which technology you should go, like open source, cloud computing, AI, because those are secondary part. Okay, those are completely secondary part. You should focus on small things like you need to focus on how to eat properly. Okay, by seeing the fancy stuff like burger, pizza, whatever, AI, and these things are very fancy stuff, and student easily get carry forward to it. Okay, if you are have a strong desire to become an AI person or cyber expert, like that, you are specific, you are clear that you will be this, then you can, there is a track like Python, learn Python, then ML technology, learn ML technology, learn data science, and then this way. But for majority, and those students will be like 1% or even very less than 1% from a group of 100. The rest of the 99%, they all these what I talk, it is applied to them. Open source community. This is the part, the untraditional way how you can go it. Okay. Now, open source is, I don't know, I'm not going to ask what is open source. I will get many different answers. But open source is basically a software where your source code is open, and you can basically inspect it, modify it, enhance it, use it, sell it. What Red Hat was doing is Red Hat was taking the open source code of the Linux, making it as a Red Hat Enterprise Linux and selling it. Do you know all the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, Aadhaar card, and all those system is powered by Red Hat servers. Okay, Red Hat is only the company which could able to make the $1 billion revenue through open source. Now you might be imagining, like, product is free, like the Linux is free, how can it generate the revenue? It's quite amazing. Like, it's quite amazing. Just think of it. You have a free stuff and you are generating $1 billion revenue. Okay, that's itself is a amazing stuff. In open source you will feel free, let me tell you. And then in open source you collaborate with other fellow engineers. In open source you build a community, you organize meetups, conferences, workshops. You can connect with millions of other developers in the world. Okay, just think about what kind of course you are doing, where you have the power, you can generate the power within yourself to talk to millions of other developers in the world. I'm doing that. Okay, I'm connected to a lot of tech forums, like a lot of tech chats. I have grouped myself organizing. I attend myself conferences, a lot of things. And ultimately, what open source is doing is you are connecting with the true nature of human. What is? Because you are connecting with human itself, right? I would share my memories and like to inspire you all, or because around 10 years ago, almost around 10 years ago, someone basically suggested me to go into open source. And after 10 years, here I am sharing with all the things right now, or I have done. And it's only about open source. It's only through open source, I would say. If I would have been in the enterprise world, defense world, or some big companies, that the track would be different. So there are two tracks actually I would say in the IT industry. One is those who follow open source principles, who follow open source methodologies. They are open. Most of the startups, they follow this one. Those who follow enterprise closed source, or they don't want to share the most of the knowledges, because they know that if they share it, they will lose the money or business. Okay, and they have their own pros and cons. Okay, some like open source way, some doesn't like to be on open source way. So it's your choice, but my job is to give you, aware, help you aware that these things exist. My community members I'm going to share. I hope this will help you. This is the RubyConf India that happened in Kerala. You can imagine a lot of people are there, around 300, 350 attendees around across the world. This is me in GopherCon Bangalore with my Red Hat fellows. This is also some other events. You can see I like to do a lot of less selfies. This is the registration that I used to volunteer there. Okay, and same here in the RubyConf. And this is the DevOps Days founder who came to Bangalore, and the DevOps Days events happen like across the world, almost like 100 events, 100 plus events. DevOps Days America, DevOps Days, UK, DevOps Days Japan, like a lot of things happen there. Okay, this is in Bangalore, and this is to be aware yourself that this happens. This is the discussion, the DevOps This founder, it's sharing his knowledge, others are sharing his knowledge, that what we can do more in the DevOps or this technology particularly. This is my first lightning talk, which I gave in 2016, and I was quite shaking. And my talk, lightning talk, is just like 5-10 minutes. Okay, the normal usual talk is around 25 to 30 minutes. This is the like lightning talk where you just showcase the best part of some technology. And I was showing something, and I was quite nervous. There is a language called Ruby, and this is the creator of that language. You can imagine like meeting someone like this, like how you will react. You know, this he's Mads. The nickname is Mads. He's very cool, very down to earth. You can see by his facial expression. No boasting like I have created Ruby language. What else? Something like that. You can imagine. So how? So there is the IT community is quite open, by the way. So open source community at least. This is another creator, JRuby language creator. Okay. So basically, first Ruby language created, then another Java version, JVM version got created. That is JRuby. This is the founder, and this is CentOS. If you know about CentOS, this is the CentOS project lead. He was in Red Hat, and few of my friend, a Nepali friend, that I met in Goa, and along the that conferences, you also hang around in the conference, and you also take some selfies. So that's like a kind of a short community memories. What I basically did is this. I don't have time to play the video, but I will share these slides. You can help yourself. This is the hackathon, one of the Nepal first international level hackathon that happened in, and it has around like 260 people, and a few are from India as well, and outside as well. This is the first. It's a engineer level event, basically where we deal about the writing good software. This is the Rails girls first time in Nepal, where we are trying to learn a new technology, Rails, Ruby on Rails, which is a web technology and similar to Django, if you are familiar with Django. And this is the career guidance for very junior, school level, from 9 to some college level. I did in one of the city in Nepal. Okay, so there are a lot of programs happen there as well. And this is the recap of the Pune, and I will also share these things. And this is a video of 2020 Rails girls, and this is 2018 Rails girls. And this is in Red Hat. This is some other company. So think of this: you are going into these tech events. What you will learn? Okay, just imagine it. Okay, one thing you will learn is you interact. You slowly get the skill of interacting with your fellow or senior buddies or company employees. And this Bangalore, another event. This is the conferences I help organized. Rubicon, lot of people are there. Okay, you can see like, and this is go for Golang conference. Okay, so one last thing, the important of all the slides probably for administration, for our organizers, and for our college itself, is we can build similar community in our college, because there are a lot of college level community itself. And sometimes I feel distress when I don't see such community in our college, or if there is, then not so active. The proposal is building a Pune College open source club, and I know all the frameworks how it should be done. Okay, and this is the basically way forward, I would say, for any college. So what we need to build a community inside a college, what we need is students, a group of not all the students should be as active as everyone. There are few active students, and they know by working on it, by involving in this, they will be in a different position after the college. Okay, we need such few students. We need students involvements. We need college administration who can basically support all the initiatives. We need someone who can basically have this community building experience from IT. Okay, I can help, but there are others who can also help. That's what the mantra is. Together we learn and grow. Because what is happening is, in the IT world, IT industry is not getting the required candidates as they expected, because as I explained earlier, there is a huge expectations. Okay, and then the another on the other side is IT colleges are not able to meet the expectations. Okay, we need time is now that we need to be collaborate together and meet that expectations for writing the better software for the humanity. Few others initiative that I would like to showcase, then that's all. These are the three groups. One is self-taught IT student groups, Facebook groups. There's almost 550 plus right now. Then self-taught IT engineers group, where I only share engineer level content. In the student, I only share student level content. And there is a pan-India initiative I started for building a brave, honest, and ethical and professional IT workforce. All three have different meanings. Okay, that will be in that initiative. And yeah, that's all. I would say thanks you all for giving me this opportunity again and sharing my views. I know it can be sometimes bored, but I hope out of some bored things, you can, if you a positive person can get something positive. These are my contact IDs. I try to keep consistent, but Facebook is Facebook. I deleted my own profile few times. Anyway, so I'm open for question, and I'm done with my slides. Thank you.
Masira?
Masira?
You, sir.
Yeah.
Anyone up for the questions?
Yes, all of you can ask questions. All the students. Anyone? You can unmute yourself. Anyone? See, chat window, Masira. Is blockchain a good career in India? Yes, BRG.
Yeah, it's again, I'm actually quite neutral to any technologies, because as I said, the root cause of earning everything is sometimes different. It's not only this technology is booming and that, but blockchain is certainly a good option. Okay, and how you perceive it. Okay, it's a different track altogether. You need to go with the completely different track. And blockchain is booming, but again, it's all about how the government will change, give the policies. So in such cases where these things are there, if you are not unsure, try to keep the plan B as well. Okay, because you never know what how government will react. And but there is always basically a good scope for blockchain. Okay, and once it's the trend setter. Like if other companies will follow the blockchain technology for payment, India will definitely follow it. Okay, so it's like every technology is always great actually, but keep an eye on it, and but keep the safe, play safely. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket. That's what the phrase is. And yeah, that's all I would suggest.
Next question. You can take a chat window, BRG.
Yeah, there are people who have their own coding signature. For example, in hacking, how to have a unique and customizable code or program. Again, it's a practice. Okay, when I said hacking, let me give you where it is coming from. It's basically a coding style guide. Okay, there is only one thing, that is coding style guide. Okay, now if you are a freelancer, you are fine having your creating your own coding style guide, because you are then you can able to write a good software, and you are productive, your typing speed or your thinking speed is great. But when you work in a company, you need to follow the company's style guide. In a group, you have to follow, there is like Google style guide, there is a Mozilla style guide for HTML web development, how you can write one tag, how to do the indentation, how to write the JavaScript. Okay, so these are those things which you need to aware. Okay, or if you are aware of it, then there is a greater chance of getting placed in a company. Okay, so but the another question the is how to have a unique and customizable code. The best way is to first get through what others have. Like I have, like in my laptop, I have set aliases, lot of aliases, like Git. Like if I use Git, then Git branch for GB. I have set alias GB for Git branch. Then when I type GB, then it basically do the Git branch. So that's my side. Okay, I can't enforce this to other developers, right? Similarly, you can set for indentation. Okay, whether you want to use two spaces indentation or four spaces indentation. Okay, then their editors used to have a lot of tricks and tips which you can get it. Okay, in case of hacking, Vim is very popular, Vim editor, because then you can you can customize all those things. Okay, if you want to go to have that kind of thing, then you can set Vim, because it's Vim, and then you can explore Vim, how others are using Vim. There are a lot of ways to customize in Vim. In a integrated development environment, that is IDE, basically the IDE basically give the UI to you. Okay, this is the way only. Okay, so Notion, you can check Vim and the other things for your coding things. This way you can develop your own style. First explore other style. That's the way forward. The next question is Adnan. One thing I wanted to be clear that are IT companies interested in which degree do we hold, or for a particular job post is there a reserved degree, or they just interested in skills, and that we like now when you say IT companies, it's a very abstract word, right? Like what kind of IT company? Startup, MNCs, middle level, or just your own company, right? Right now, if I want to start my own company, I just want a person who can deliver the task, because that is my goal, right? And then you go to startup like 30, 40 companies, you have some budget, or then, okay, I need a experienced person, okay, or a student who has some degree. Like in case of degrees, basically, let me give you how the degrees play a role. Is there is MTech, or where there is a statistical, more on the statistical side, right? And there is an application, MCA, Master of Computer Application, which is mostly on the application side. And there is a MCA in management. Now, MCA is management is good for those who want to become a actually managers or product analyst. Okay, some management part is there. Okay, but MCA is purely a engineer job. Okay, you will be in the technical role. So companies will also basically check these things. Okay, in some cases. But if you are engineer, then any engineer degree, BCA or BCS or BSc Computer Science or BTech Engineering, all these fall into the same category. They don't, companies don't bother, don't have time to see the degree as well. They just see what is your resume, like, okay, you know Java, you know this fall into my job profile, job description of the of the company. I will select you for the interview. Okay, so this is the case in case of the job and the degrees. But mostly, if you are skillful, uh, you will definitely get the job. Are IT jobs secure? Because every time new technology come in it in sector, and how to choose where to go, software development or web design or any other. So yes, Sadiq, so as I said, you need to first you know IT job, let me tell you, IT job is the one of the secured, or IT industry is one of the secured, because if you see USA or other countries, right, like everything is driven by IT only. So if you are here right now in IT, in the next 10 years, you will be in a position to drive something. Okay, and then whether it is education sector, whether it is medical sector, or whether it is agriculture sector, okay, everywhere it is IT. So the IT is going to be so don't leave IT basically. And then it's about security in terms of software development and web design or this and that. You need to basically at some point stop yourself thinking of different technologies, because there are distractions and you are distracted. In most of the cases, it's all about your own self rather than this technology is coming, that technology is coming, right? Right now Python is going like haywire. Everywhere is Python. Why? Because Python is being used in ML, machine learning, data science, right? What about in the next 2 years? There is no scope of or less scope of data mining and machine learning. Then Python will come down. Okay, so in IT companies, this is some. So that is a phrase in IT companies, a buzzword. Like some technology buzz, like Python. There was a time in IT company, DevOps, 2015. Everyone want DevOps. IT companies, no matter they know it or not, they don't know what is DevOps. Even they need, I want DevOps. Okay. Now, what is DevOps? Who can do the same what system admin does? There are other stuff. So even the IT companies don't know what they want sometimes. This is what it is. But you need to be clear, being aware of it. Okay. Strive yourself in, making yourself aware of these technologies and keep it consistent. I will give you a practical approach. How students should do it is, like, your job, your college life is going on. Okay, that is there. Okay, that is keeping you safe, that to answer someone like, okay, I'm doing college. Otherwise, what you will answer? Like what your uncle says, what are you doing? If you are not doing college, what you will answer, right? That is safe. That answer is safe. Like the parents or relatives will not, basically come to you. Okay, you are doing nothing. You are just a waste. Okay, you are doing college basically. Great. Now, during the college, what you need to do is, you need to make your own path. You need to set, clear yourself. What is the technology you want to do job? Now, how to get that? Now, why all these things are there? Because you are not exposed much to these things. Why I know? I'm exposed to these things. Being exposed from like 11 years. 1 year in Ferguson College, like whole last year was placement activity only. Okay, this college, that this company, that company, we need to check profiles of that company. This company is good. Okay, something like that. And then after industry, I went lot of places everywhere, understand a lot of dynamics, different companies, profile, small level, mid level, government level, everything. Okay, but right now you are not aware of it. So that's why I'm saying aware yourself about the programming or technology. What you need to do is choose, see what the technology is. Like say Ruby is the language you are going to choose right now, because I said it. Somebody basically ignite that thing into your mind, right? Now go and go home and then find what Ruby is. Okay, now you like it because it's a quite simple language than PHP and Python or Java. You like it, you code in it for 1 year, or sorry, 1 month. You liked it, then code another 1 month. After a couple of months, you start building software. That is what excites you more. Okay, that will what excites you more, because once you start creating the things, right, then passion will come. Okay, right now, okay, I just want to try it. It's something like ice cream. You like vanilla, and then rest of the life you just like vanilla only. That is like default taste. Okay, in a group of student, in a group of people, okay, somebody says butterscotch, this and that, but you still say vanilla by default because you are lazy person. That's how the things. Once you stick to the some technology, that becomes the comfort zone. Okay, so that's how, just at least 3 months, I'm just giving you 2 to 3 months, stick to the to particular technology language. Okay, see where it is, tutorials, YouTube tutorials, or whatever it is, or some paid learnings, right? Go check it, and then see yourself whether you are able to fit yourself in this technology or not. The 3 years is very important, and then 2 more years is very important to understand which technology you want to be in. Otherwise, company will set your technology. Like in my case, in the placement pool, I got selected in company, and in the last interview, I came to know that this was a QA engineer post. I was just hoping that it was a developer post, but it was QA engineer. The good part is it is automation only. Okay, it has some programming. Otherwise, I would have left in like 2-3 months. Why would I have? Okay, but again, as I said, QA is also a very high-profile job nowadays, and they have also on-site activities as well. You get the chance to go outside. Okay, so you need to check all these things. Stick 2 to 3 months to some technology. Don't go like a monkey mindset. What is monkey mindset? You choose one language. After 1 month, you choose another language. After second month, you choose a third language, and then after 3 months, you are nowhere. Like you have only one mindset. Oh, this language is nothing, or I don't know nothing, something like that. Okay, 2 months for any technology. So I think that's all, and we can take it on later on, because
I think we'll not take more questions now.
Yeah.
I will share detail with all the students. They will contact you personally. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I could request Mr. Irfan Chogle to give vote of thanks.
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir.
Irfan, sir?
Irfan, sir.
Yes, he's there.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Professor Irfan Chogle, Assistant Professor in Computer Science, and I am here to present the vote of thanks for today's webinar session on IT career awareness. First of all, thanks to Almighty for his blessings and grace. A special mention to our Honorable Principal, Sir, Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, for being the catalyst that inspired us to do our best and stand as a pillar of power. With deep sense of appreciation, I would like to thank to our Honorable Vice Principal, Professor Iqbal N. Sheikh, for his constant guidance and support. My heartiest thanks to our domain expert for this seminar, Mr. Budh Ram Gurung. That's BRG, for taking out time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with the domain knowledge in web development. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and interesting things. This gave a deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. The point where Mr. BRG told us about the different stages to become a full stack web developer was really informative. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that Mr. BRG gave us will definitely help us in our studies and future. I also thanks to all my loving colleagues, Dr. Shabana Mullah, Head of the Department, BBA, Dr. Reshma Patil, Professor Faimuddin, for their initiative to make this session possible. Dr. Imran Mirza, in charge B.Voc software development, for his untiring efforts and constant follow-ups to make the session fruitful. I also thank to Professor Farooq Sheikh for his flawless Zoom technical support. I also thanks to Masira for comparing the session beautifully. And last but not least, thanks to all my dear students, participants, for paying your attention and learning. I would end my vote of thanks with the beautiful quote by Albert Einstein that the more you know, you don't know. So keep learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, sir.
Now it is the end of session now. Thank you all of you. BRG.
Yeah, thank you
Very much.
Thank you everyone. Yeah,
See you very soon.
yeah, see you everyone.
Okay, we'll end the session now. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.